All right, we are back on Steel City. I'm your host, Andre Duke. And if you could hit that like and subscribe button and help us grow this thing, that would be much appreciated. But we're going to get into it. The Browns, and there's a couple preseason games tonight. Uh, Shador Sanders, the anticipated debut. That's going on. So, and then the Steelers kick off tomorrow for their preseason game. So, the NFL is somewhat pseudo underway with the Hall of Fame game kickoff. So, this is pretty much where we're at. I do have the game up. I am watching Panthers Browns. The Panthers have the ball, and that's what it is. But I got some topics we're going to discuss today. Sorry for the late start. Traffic is crazy in my city with all of the summer road construction. So shout out to those guys for fixing the roads. I know it's an inconvenience, but if you want to get anywhere, you got to rely on those guys. So with that being said, I guess we'll get right into it. I know I did the odds earlier in earlier in the when we got this show started, but here's the percentages of who is going to win the AFC North, brought to you by CBS Sports. But the way this is shaping up is kind of interesting. Pretty much 70% for the Ravens, 15% for the Steelers, 10% for the Bengals, and 2% for the Cleveland Browns. I find that very interesting to a certain extent that the Browns have, I guess not really, with the Browns having the least amount of odds to win it. Just something to be said there. The percentages are not in their favor per se, so that's just something we got cooking. I'm just checking some various things here and making sure we're all systems go. But yeah, if you could hit the like and subscribe button and help us grow this thing, that is what we got going. But the Browns, coming into the year, not a lot of optimism as Bryce Young is marching the Panthers down the field. I get it, it's preseason, but this is kind of where we're at. Not a lot of faith in anybody else. The Ravens won the division last year, so that's something to be said there. So I think that the Ravens, if I was going to pick who was going to win the division, I would definitely roll the Ravens. They got the best quarterback. The Aaron Rodgers thing is still a very big question mark per se. This is just something that we got going. I know there's a lot of you out there watching the preseason because we are just so football heavy. But that's just a little bit of what the odds are saying. CBS put that out, so that's just what it is. Let me get that out of the way. But when it comes down to it, even though I didn't get this image edited 100% correctly, let's go to this. Just the top headlines of what ESPN has out right now. Brady overwhelmed at the unveil of his statue. The Colts Richardson, the AR-5 thing in Indianapolis is that's looking kind of grim. Najee Harris's status for the Chargers is unclear. Texans safety Ward out on bail. Court date August 13th. Dolphins coach Mike McDaniel breaks up skirmish versus the Bears. NFL memo calls for security updates after shooting. that happened at the headquarters. Just a rough ordeal there, and that's pretty much about it. Just some fantasy football stuff. I'm sure people are getting their fantasy football stuff in line. The games that are kicking off, Detroit and Atlanta are rolling right now. Cleveland, Carolina, and then Washington, New England get to see the Mike Vrabel's debut. So that's just something to be said out there. That's what it is. So preseason, it's still pretty slow as far as news, the whole health thing, keeping everybody healthy to get through camp. But not that I want to pick on the Dallas Cowboys, even though there is a lot there. Here's a quarterback comparison between Tony Romo and Dak Prescott. For the better part of, I don't know, I would say 35 years outside of the Cowboys Super Bowl. When was their last one? 96, I do believe. The Cowboys' last Super Bowl. So since 97, they have been mediocre. I heard, I believe it was Matt McChesney on 0 to 60 compared the Cowboys to the Jacksonville Jaguars with better marketing. I can't say I disagree, but here is the Tony Romo tenure. Here is the Dak Prescott tenure. Dak with way less interceptions, but not as many touchdown passes, and the records are very similar. There's a Romo at 75 and 48, and Dak Prescott 76 and 46. Romo 110 interceptions, as you can see by the graphic. I don't think that that's out of the realm of possibility here. Should Dallas blow it up? That's something that I think that should Jerry choose to do so, but I highly doubt that Jerry will do that. There's too big of an ego there. I think that when it comes to the Cowboys, they just cannot. They are literally the gang that can't get it together. To a certain extent, I mean, look at the comparisons here, and then not to mention the head coaches. We got Shedeur Sanders back on the field. It is 1st and 10 for the Browns. I'm going to keep people updating. Another completion for Shedeur. So that's something we got an eyeball on. But yeah, when it comes to Dallas, I mean, is anybody really shocked? They haven't done anything. It's literally like that meme with the kid with the stick that's poking it and says, do something. Dak won a playoff game against Tom Brady, which was really shocking. But you got to think Tom Brady was like 41, 42 years old and got divorced and was on the high road to hang it up to go into the booth. And that's what it is. So I think the Cowboys are, to a certain extent, yeah, they're showing the crowd at Carolina. A lot of fans dressed as empty seats, baby. Gotta love the preseason football. A lot of fans dressed as empty seats. So that's just something that we got going there. I think that the Cowboys should maybe blow it up. That's just something that could be on the horizon. Do I think Jerry will do it? No. Do I think the Micah Parsons thing is a problem? Yes. I think it's a major problem that they haven't got the deal done. Do I think Jerry will trade him? No. Could he possibly sit out? Yes. So this isn't the first time that Jerry's gotten a heated contract dispute with a player. You can go back to, i.e. Emmitt Smith back in the day. Emmitt Smith sat out for the better part of, I don't know, I think a month, and then comes back, and I think he won the NFL rushing title that year. So do I think Jerry is 100% spot on with some of his personnel moves? I mean, he has hit in the draft, and then there's others that have been complete bust outs. So I think that the biggest thing for Jerry Jones and the Cowboys, they haven't got that franchise quarterback. I mean, they've got Dak, but paying Dak the ridiculous amount of money, and I'm going to pull it up right now, compared to the Eagles. I think the Eagles and Jeffrey Lurie, they struggled in the beginning, got rid of Andy Reid, which he was a longtime coach, and they got Nick Scorton for the Panthers playing outside linebacker. He 2 seasons ago, he led the Big Ten in sacks. And then he transferred to Texas A&M. So that's just something to be said right there. But hold on. Something in here. I think it's a cricket. I can't believe it. Not in the garage. But anyway, here is the cap hit. Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown, and hold on 1 second. If I could just get this to format correctly. Where did it have it? There it is. But A.J. Brown, Jalen Hurts, who is the guy on the bottom? I am looking at that. And Devontae Smith, sorry. That is what I was looking at. But Devontae Smith, A.J. Brown, and Jalen Hurts all within $46.9 million. And Dak Prescott's cap hit is $50 million. I think that is something to be said there. They are paying him that. The Eagles got a ring, won the division. A lot of people are picking the Lions to go back to the Super Bowl. And I think when it comes down to it, I know this is a Steelers show, but when it comes down to it, I think the Browns, or not the Browns, but I think the Eagles have the best chance to go back, in my opinion. That's just my opinion on that. I think that Jerry is severely hatchet jobbing this, and it's kind of what it is. But just 1 second, everybody. And we're back. I'll have that fixed for the college football show. I cannot find that right now. But in other news, here are the rookie head coaches: Ben Johnson, Brian Schottenheimer, Aaron Glenn, Liam Cohen, and Kellen Moore. Which rookie head coach will have the best winning percentage in their first year? I think it's got to be Liam Cohen, just for the simple fact of he's got the best quarterback out of all of them. Schottenheimer, if you've seen what was going on down there in Dallas, I think they're an unserious franchise, riding around on the sticks, kind of acting like a bunch of horses' asses. Aaron Glenn and the Jets, although I do think Aaron Glenn is – I thought their defense last year at Detroit was just completely decimated. But a lot of people fell in love with the Lions. Dan Campbell, Aaron Glenn, Ben Johnson, just for the simple fact I thought it had a lot to do with them being on Hard Knocks. So there's just something there. And then Kellen Moore, I think the Saints might be the worst team in the NFL. Just on GP, I think that's just something that we've got going there. Ben Johnson, I think that will Chicago punt the Caleb Williams package? I think if it doesn't go well at the beginning of the year, I could see Ben Johnson sitting them down and seeing what they have. That's just something that is not out of the realm of possibility. But I think Liam Cohen has the best opportunity to win the most games. He's in the weakest division, and he's got probably the second best quarterback in that division. Daniel Jones in Indianapolis. Daniel Jones, the AR5 thing is just an absolute dumpster fire. I think the Colts need to completely clean house and start over at the QB position. That's just something that needs to be done. But Aaron Glenn and the Jets, I'm not seeing it. I think if Aaron Glenn would have been, if Justin Fields would have been the guy, he would have stayed in Pittsburgh. But there was a lot of speculation saying he didn't trust Pittsburgh to do the right thing, which that's kind of telling on the Mike Tomlin end of things. So that's just what it is. But I think that at a certain extent, you've got that going, and so we'll see where that ends up panning out. But I think Kellen Moore down there with Spencer Rattler and Tyler Shuck I think that is a tough endeavor. But I'd be interested to see who you guys feel would be the best. Drop your comments down below, and we'll see where that ends up. But Schottenheimer, technically, he's got the highest paid quarterback. So there is that. Cleveland Browns, Shedeur Sanders might be on the way to throw his first touchdown pass in the NFL. If anybody is watching along out there, Shedeur rolls out. Touchdown, Cleveland Browns. So Shedeur Sanders, first touchdown pass in the NFL, if anyone out there in Steeler Nation cares. So, and then we'll move to the last graphic I have for everybody. Which of the last place teams are most likely to make the playoffs? I'm going to go right on out on a limb. I know Steeler fans are not going to like this, but I think it's going to be the Patriots. I think New England is probably the best team. I think they've got the best coach in a Vrabel. I'm not trying to take anything away from Pete Carroll, but yeah, it's a zoo over here at my house right now. But Pete Carroll, I think, is going to be set up to do very well out there in Vegas. That's just something that's going to be completely hard to be unavoidable. The Patriots, I think, are set up pretty well. Who knows what Miami's going to be this year? They had a lot of injuries, and that's just kind of what it is. But tomorrow we are going to be streaming the Steelers game as a watch-along. If you want to hop in and tune in and join me on that. And that's just what we're going to be doing tomorrow. Probably start the stream around 6:50. And we'll be doing some commentary on that, checking out the Steelers to see what Skylar Thompson looks like, because I don't think Will Howard is going to play. So that is kind of what it is. But with that being said, everybody hit that like and subscribe button. A little bit of a quick show, and I got to go take care of this fucking cricket. So everybody have a good night. Hopefully see you back tomorrow. We'll be streaming live. Have a good one, everybody.